hands up waving. Make sure that you wave like this. Let's practice. This is waving. This is saying good job. Not regular clapping. Okay, now, nope, no more clapping, right? You're going to do it like that. Just making sure we got that down. Ready? All right. Why is Finland's education system the best one in the country? What can we learn from Finland, from their education system? Finland's education system is one of the top ones in the country, and everybody in the world looks to them for their excellence in teaching methods and pedagogy. I want to give you 4 different specific reasons why they are the leading and successful country in education. They feel that socialization is very important for children. Students there and teachers believe that children will succeed more by engaging in play and imaginary activities, and they found through research that that's very worthwhile for 3 different reasons. In Finland, the students have 45 minutes of recess time every day, compared to here in the U.S. where there's only 27 minutes a day, which is quite a difference if you think about it. In addition to that, by law in Finland, children have 15 minutes of break for every 45 minutes of instruction in the classroom, whereas here in the U.S., the children have basically a 5-minute break for every 45 minutes, and that's the maximum. Outdoor physical activity is seen as a strong component in Finland for their educational system, regardless of the weather, even if it's a freezing cold winter. They feel that physical activity is really important and engages the children. And they feel that that's, if you look at the nonverbal communication of that decision by the government, they feel that playing and learning are crucial to children and they're inextricably intertwined. Sarah Trenholm, who's the author of a book called Thinking Through Communication, has said that group socialization is definitely connected with children getting along together and contestants between groups and individuals. And they feel that teachers are as responsible for the children's comfort as any other factor in the educational system there. Also, children playing together gives more feedback between these children, which means they learn better behavioral control and social norms from each other. Now, another thing that's quite important to understand about the Finland education is there's no standardized testing. They do not support the idea of standardized testing and all that preparation. The belief is that it causes more stress and stifles creativity and inquisitiveness among the children. They do not believe in rankings and comparisons and competition between students and the schools and regions on a national level. A principal who had quite a lot of experience, 24 years of experience, was quoted as saying, "If you are measuring statistics, then what you're going to miss is the human aspects of the people you're working with." I believe that what he's trying to say by that is that if we recognize a human as an individual and their nature and who they are individually, that in any sense is going to give you more idea of who they are than any statistic ever can. They do have one standardized test when a child reaches the age of 16 and decides to go on to higher education and perhaps college. They do take a standardized test. But we feel that America would improve greatly in our education system if we would drop all these standardized tests and instead encourage students to play and socialize more often. Now, there is a strict requirement for educators in the Finnish system as well. Joan Richardson, who's the editor-in-chief of Japan Magazine, has said that to become a teacher or an educator in Finland is very competitive and akin to Ivy League school competition here in the United States. Only the best of the best, the cream of the crop, can never become an educator in Finland. They must have incredible scores in their exams and passionate desire to be an educator and a very strong basis of pedagogy. These are the tools that are most important for them, and the requirements are very strict for them to keep going. They also have to have a master's degree with a published thesis to even be considered. This means that 1 out of 10 applicants will be accepted to be considered into the master's programs for teaching in Finland. If you want to become a primary school teacher, that is the toughest job of all. For example, Japan Magazine has said that there's around 1,789 applicants for 170 open positions in the Finnish school system, which is extremely competitive. Dr. Pasi Salzberg, who's a Finnish educator and scholar, has also said it's a bonus that if you earn a master's degree, it's incredible in that country, because in Finland you have no cost to attain that degree. The school system and attaining these higher degrees is completely subsidized by the government. Finland does not have the highest pay grade for their educators, but the benefits they have and the skills they have are far outweigh what we have in the United States, and we feel that the respect for the students and the hard work that is put into the students' education is quite valued in Finland compared to what happens here in the U.S. Now, the idea that less is more. What could that mean, less is more? Students in Finland are not in a hurry to complete their education and have to go to school hours and hours a day. They start at age 7, and that means that the school day also is truncated. They're there a very short time during the day, 4 to 5 hours, that's all. And that means they show up, they're ready to sit down and learn whatever the teacher is going to convey to them, and then they're out the door and ready to socialize with their friends and families and participate in society. And whatever activities they wish to join, they have plenty of time to do so, which shows that they're not spending most of their time engaged in sitting in a classroom. Finland is ranked 7th in the world for the happiest country, 7 out of 10. All over Europe, they see Finland as one of the great leaders of happiness for their population in general. And it seems that their health, their work, their life ethic, and their education are all of a piece. There is an author named Sofia Faridi. She's an educator, a high school teacher in Chicago. She did a visit to Finland and engaged with different educators, was doing research on the educational paradigms in that country, and asked them, how can we improve our education system in the United States? And a very clever person answered her in this way. When students struggle, the question is not what is wrong with the student. What we should ask instead is what was wrong, not even with the teacher, but what is wrong with the generalized system of education. And I believe that that quote is the question that we need to ask ourselves as American citizens. How can we improve in general the educational system for children and the way that we choose teachers in the schools? There needs to be more socialization. There needs to be less standardized testing for our children. And we also have fewer school days or fewer time for the children to be in schools. There need to be much more stringent standards for the selection of teachers to go into the system. And I believe that will, in essence, eventually help our economy and our education system in general. And now I'd like to say a few words myself.
A wise man once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you shame the world. Amen.